Hey guys, we are live. Check it out. This is the Table Talk Radio Show. My name is Tanisha Simpkins. I'm one of the hosts. And what is the Table Talk Radio Show? What we do is have candid conversations when it comes to politics, education, health, anything that has to do with news or world news or entertainment. Again, politics. We talk about it. We put it on the table and talk about it. Have some excellent hosts on tonight. We have one of our other co-hosts, that's Pastor A. Hey, Nathan.
Hey, what's
All
up?
right, and we also have our guest honorary, like we in church, um, host here, Dr. David Dozer Carr. How you doing tonight?
I'm well. I'm well.
Okay, awesome, guys. Listen, it's so much going on right now. I kind of want to just jump into it. I got this thing. What y'all say? Yeah, and plus, because of tonight, tonight is the RNC, the Republican National Convention.
Yeah,
Um,
we gotta go see. I gotta go see
so
my convention tonight.
yeah, we gotta go see. I mean, just like
Mm-mm.
we saw the Democratic, we're gonna see the Republican as well. And I'm just gonna put out some things here, and these things that I put out, these are hot topic speedway. And what that means is you probably have about a couple of minutes to give your speedway on exactly what I'm talking about. This is like my new version game. So Trump wants to have a police officers at the election polls during the election night. He only said the election night. He didn't say during the early voting, but he feels like there should be some type of police enforcement, law enforcement there monitoring the booths or whatever you're doing on that night. Um, Nathan, what do you think about it?
Intimidation at its finest. Anytime there is police presence, of course, it negatively affects people of color, people who just are fearful of police. They feel that something's gonna happen, and so it's just fear factor. Is no need. They're not gonna be checking anything. So their just presence alone is there for intimidation.
Okay. And Dr. David, what do you think?
Well, intimidation. This guy's a dictator. That's all he is. He's a dictator, and I just don't understand how true conservatives can support him. To me, it's like they're throwing away all their values about small government. It's This guy is a dictator.
Christian
This is the most
values.
important election. We're gonna be like Russia if this guy's wins again.
Wow, wow. Okay, so the next speedway is RNC. Some feel that it's a comedy show tonight. Maybe because they don't agree with the Republican Party, but they feel it's a comedy show because they had something laid out, and number 45 changed it to where it's just I will be shown every night, and of course my family and kids' girlfriend will speak. Is it a comedy show for the Republican? And the question would be, why would they allow it? David, you first.
I think it's. I'm a Republican, and I feel this guy's destroying the party. And I feel that everyone that allows him, this is why I saw him speak for 2 minutes today, and they were shouting 4 more years, and he says, "Well, maybe 12." I I said, "Okay." I volunteered for Joe Biden right away. I started making calls. I said, "Oh man, this thing is serious. Like, if you don't do everything possible, a lot of people taking our democracy for granted, and I laugh because I don't want to cry. That's like how bad this is and how uneducated a lot of people are to not understand what's at stake. This is our democracy that we have taken for granted. We may lose it. And Obama tried his
Mm,
best during that speech to really convey that the gravity of this election, the most important in our lifetime.
People fail to realize how
okay, okay.
dictatorships get started. This is how it gets started. And he is slowly planting the seeds of dictatorship and discord in this country. You know, when you look at you know, last week, you know, I'm in the middle. I have no bones about that. I don't lean left or right. I'm in the middle. But when you look at the DNC, what you did see was the Democrats coming together. What you saw was people who ran against each other coming together. You saw
True.
people of leadership, of status, former presidents, secretaries of states, governors, Republicans, leaders of this country speaking. You have very few leaders speaking at the RNC this week. You have every night there's somebody with Trump and the last name speaking at this convention. This is the Trump convention. That's what it needs to be nicknamed. That's what it needs to be. It's the Trump convention. The NRC has sold their soul to this devil because what he has done is he has shot down everybody who has gone against him. And they are afraid for their political seats. And so therefore they are forced to support him. But there are some people that have abandoned the ship with their presence. Your presence means everything, and the lack of a lot of people's presence to me is speaking volumes.
Yeah, you said something pretty key there, Pastor. We have a couple of guardrails in our country. Free press, he attacks that. A separate law and order. If you look at law and order, the two symbols for our justice system is a blindfold, which means it shouldn't have any preferential treatment. If you look, he has his friends, Roger Stone, Michael Flynn, getting easier sentences, and he has them trying to investigate his enemies. For example, the FBI that did investigation on him, payback.
Right.
All right. So now justice is not blind, and then it's not of imbalance. So the two symbols that convey the United States justice system is supposed to be blind and it's supposed to be balanced. Although we can argue it never has been balanced for Black folks in this country. And just looking at Blake, was it Jacob Blake just the other day, him being shot. You know, so although it's never, we can argue it's never been truly blind or truly balanced for Black folks, but at least it's been there for the majority folks. and even that is being attacked. So people that take democracy for granted, pay attention. There was a guy that was going against Putin. He got killed last week.
Right.
He got killed. And Putin didn't have to do it. All you have to do is say, because he's a adversary, he said he's an enemy of the state.
Right.
So once you say something like that, any one of your fanatics can go and go do, which is what Donald Trump does. Anybody that disagrees with them is an enemy.
You mentioned something, David, that was credible. When Obama gave his speech, he said something that really rung very, very significant to me. He said, I did not expect him to carry out everything I did, but I at least expected some decency and decorum for the office. When you see Obama pinning a medal on a George Bush Sr., when you see Obama speaking and doing a eulogy for Senator McCain and others, when you see Obama and George Bush Jr. coming together at political functions, they understand that, hey, only 44 people have ever held this office in the history of our nation. 44 at that time. 44 people. 5 of them are still alive. Coming together, Trump can't separate that. And he doesn't, what people don't understand about Trump, and then we'll move, he doesn't go after color. He doesn't care what color you are. If you are against him, he's coming after you.
Right. Like a gangster, like a mobster. You know, it's like, you took my ball, so I'm gonna run you over. Now I'm gonna hit you back. I'm just gonna run you over and leave you for dead. You know, that's how he operates in his mind.
Oh yeah. People better vote. They better call. They better participate. They better volunteer. I'm asking everyone. I'm telling you, this is the
Hold that
most
thought there.
important election.
Hold that thought, David. Yeah, hold that thought. Okay, so Jerry Falwell Jr. officially resigned as president of Liberty University. The move followed a series of controversies, including investigations of a former business partners. He had long-term sexual relationships with his wife.
His wife.
Yeah. So, what do you guys think about that?
I think
Long term.
I think that,
Why now?
you know, okay. So I was talking to my brother, Pastor Jude, about this. I believe that God gives everyone a different gift, you know, and this guy was a successful attorney. When he took over Liberty University, he turned them around in terms of business wise, in terms of the success. But I don't believe he was a front
Enrollment.
man. Yeah, I believe what he should have done is allowed his brother to continue to be the face of the university, who's more, I would say, sensitive to PR, to how things look. You know, this guy came from the private sector where it's all about results. If you get the results, you're good. It doesn't matter what you're doing. So simple mistakes like that picture that he got in trouble for, you know, when he was in the private sector, nobody would care, you know, but because I think the biggest mistake he made is he should have been like the one with all the power behind the scenes and let his brother been the one, you know, whatever, because God did give him the gift. You can't lie with facts. He turned that university around. He turned it into a money-making thing. It was losing money before he got there. He did very well in terms of business, but in terms of he's never been a public figure per se. His father was. He was a PK, and he worked in the private sector as an attorney. And I just think that he should have been wise enough to allow his brother, who is a pastor of a big church, who's a little bit more sensitive of how things look, of how things are being perceived. He should have let that guy, his brother, been the front face while he's running the university in the back. But the fact that people like publicity, you know, one thing that they say, people like the light, but the light also brings heat.
Right.
Everybody can't be the face. Everybody doesn't have the integrity to be the face. I call it the Trump effect. Hey, you know, it's the Trump effect. I mean, he looks at his friend Trump. He's able to be a clown. He's able to all these things that, you know, he can threaten people. He can cuss. He can do all this, and nobody cares. But he doesn't represent a religious sector.
Exactly.
And that's what people that's what he failed to understand. Liberty University is the most, I mean, quite possibly the most religious conservative university on the planet. And you can't live the life of Jerry Falwell Jr. and think that he was going to continue to be the face. He was going to bring the whole thing down. Everything he used, everything he did to build it up, his personality and his integrity was going to tear it down. So they had no choice.
But if you look, before what he admitted that this guy was blackmailing him because his wife had an affair, blah, blah, blah. But if you look, because I wouldn't say integrity per se, because if you look at a lot of the things that he's gotten in trouble for over the last couple of years, it's things that look bad. You know what I'm saying? Right. But it doesn't necessarily mean that there's been no allegation of adultery. There's been no allegation, on his part. There's been no allegation that he's done, you know, anything per se that's wrong. But all the things that he's got in trouble for are things that just don't look good. It's sending the wrong message. So it's again, him working so long in the private sector where he didn't have to worry about how things look. All he had to do is worry about the results. I think he wasn't ready for that light, you know, and it would have been smarter for him to be, you know, besides, and the fact about the wife adultery thing, nobody knew. They're the one that came out with that.
Right.
Nobody. So he wasn't in trouble because he was suspended before that. He's the one that came out with that and said, listen, the guy's blackmailing us. We're tired of it. We're tired of the blackmail. So we're going to come out with this. So he can't keep on threatening us with these pictures, et cetera, et cetera. But he was in trouble before that.
David, that would in nowhere is this term more, you know, illustrious than in the church. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Perception is reality. And once you're dealing with church people and religion, when people have a perception of you,
You're
it doesn't
wrong.
matter what the
Yeah.
truth is. It is going to be their
Right.
reality,
Yeah,
and that's what's happening.
that's exactly what happened. Because
All right.
yeah,
Let's move on from him. So listen. So they were talking about the RNC. Going back to that, and your girl Candace, where everybody feels like she was snob as a speaker, as a scheduled speaker for this week. With him just choosing just his family. Do you think she really cared? I don't think she cares. I really
Oh,
don't.
she
Sometimes
cares.
she kind of
read her blogs and the comments. She definitely cares.
oh yeah. I haven't gone to her site, but to me, my opinion about I feel this country has gotten so partisan, and there's not a lot of people like Pastor A who's in that's like really independent minded. Me, although I'm Republican, I voted for Obama twice because I felt like he was more centrist. It's the same reason why I'm glad to vote for Biden. If Bernie would have won, man, I would have been in trouble. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't
Right.
know who to vote for. But I'm glad the Democrats did the right thing. You know, some people they're just so loyal to their party because of for certain reasons. Like Candace, she's loyal to the party, and some of the economic things she mentioned, I agree with. Some of the stuff she mentions, I agree with. Some of the other stuff she says, crazy. But some of the stuff I have
right.
a fundamental disagreement. But that doesn't mean you got to vote for the party every single time, and which is Trump is still going to get a vote. Period.
Right. And I agree with you. Some stuff she makes sense, and some stuff is just is way outfield. She'll get on this this radical forum about I sometimes I feel like there's always that one person that want to disagree with everything in the crowd. That one
Mhm.
friend that if you say the sky's blue, no, it's orange.
Contrarian.
That type of person. But she does make sense. Yeah, makes sense sometimes. Not that I would, if she ran, I would agree with. But check this out. So now what I do like what happened with last week. Now Bernie Sanders did say something. He said, I 6 months ago, he made sure he said it. 6 months ago, I sat down with Biden and I told him what my plan was, and I gave him my six, he said, my six task actions to be completed, and that's what I'm hoping for. And I said, let me tell you something. Come November the 5th, 6th, Bernie gonna be knocking at that door, like probably raise minimum wage or something like that, and health care, and I don't know what other ones were. He didn't say what they were, but
They
being
released a
if you
statement
follow his
actually.
agenda,
I
he
mean, not at the
did. He
convention.
said
Not at the
all of them.
convention. Not at the convention, but maybe a month ago, they established a task force between Bernie's folks and Biden folks on not on every issue,
Right.
on climate change, on economics, on racial
Yeah,
justice.
definitely that.
So Acacia AOC was a member of the climate change for Bernie, and he paired her up with John Kerry for Biden. So what they did is they took senior leadership from both campaigns or senior leadership from both sides to work together to come out with a joint thing that they agreed on. So I do think Biden was honest. He's like, listen, I'm not going to sign on that medical for all. I'm not going to eliminate private insurance, but if you want to work with us to make insurance more accessible for everyone, we'll do it. And that's why I really like Biden. He's more of a centrist. He still believes in capitalism, and I like that.
Well,
And
that's why a
that's
lot of
what
people like Biden. Go ahead.
no, and that's what the Hillary camp didn't do. They could never
Exactly.
come together. And it's hard to say that's why she lost when she won a popular vote by over 3 million votes, but
At a big part.
they could not come together. And as much as I've been questioning Biden since, he's got some, and he knows what it's gonna take, and he's bringing people together behind the scenes. Either him or somebody in this camp not going to repeat the same mistakes that the Hillary camp. Yeah, you can tell.
Pastor, you said something that reminds me to the scripture that says, "Pride comes before the fall." Hillary Clinton was so confident because they were looking at these bogus polls that I don't believe the polls now. Like, people do not take this for granted. Anybody that's undecided is a Trump supporter, period. So if you have like Joe Biden winning by 8 points in the poll, and you have 3 to 4% a margin of error, and you have 5% undecided,
it's tied.
That means Trump is winning by 1. That's what happened last time.
Right.
You know, so we need to vote. But Hillary got overconfident. There were people calling her in Pennsylvania. There were people calling her in Wisconsin. They were calling. They said, "You need to come out here," and she just ignored it.
South Florida.
Yeah.
South Florida. Yeah, she was like, "Oh, I got that.
I got it.
Yeah.
And then Pastor, you said another thing. It was a combination of her overconfidence and some of the Bernie bros. I do blame a lot of the Bernie folks because we voted for third level candidates, a green candidate. You know, it's the same tactic. That's why they asking Kanye West to run, to try to split the black vote, to try to
always
all it's the same scam. They're doing the same thing to try to get voters to start criticizing Biden, make the enemy of the good, and sit home so Trump could get back in office.
Not to mention the sorriest VP pick ever.
Right. So this slides into this right here. So I sent this to you guys. I know you probably heard it. So the other day, yesterday, I think, to be exact, or maybe it was Saturday, Ice Cube got on Twitter saying that he watched the DNC, and he kept using the phrase, you know, we use this phrase in business, and we're trying to figure out what can we get from something out of, you know, what people give. What is it in it for me? You know, the famous, what is it in it for us? He was trying to say, as far as black people, saying that, you know, basically his support. So all of the people, you know, you always got a lot of bandwagon people. You know that, Pastor. They'll jump on that bandwagon like it ain't nothing. Just be riding on, you know, just holding on by a string. And we're not gonna vote on. So now y'all will listen to Ice Cube. You know, he said this, so he has a black agenda. Okay, well, let's see the black agenda. So then someone sent me the agenda and everything. And here's my thing. I'm glad that you have an agenda because you have a voice. But when Black Lives Matter was in March, what was that agenda?
Come on.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, when Trump was doing all this, what was the agenda? So now that we're trying to construct everybody together, like you guys say, everybody just come together on leadership terms, on what's best for the country. You want to come with reparations and a black agenda. And so what? I got a black agenda too. You got a black agenda. Pastor A got a black agenda. We all got a black agenda.
I wouldn't put it past someone to be paying him to do this stuff. I'm sorry. Trump folks, you remember 50 Cent said they offered him $500,000. They offered him $500,000.
And I agree.
And I'm not going to say, I feel bad at what I'm about to say because I do buy Kanye's album and I like it and stuff. But I believe they paid Kanye. I'm sorry. When you look back, Kanye was all of a sudden going bankrupt. And then all of a sudden, he's on Forbes. He's a billionaire. Right. You know, I believe he got paid. And I wouldn't put it past them to be paying some. Now, they may act like they're not with Trump, the people that's paying him. They just instigate it and say, you should do this. Matter of fact, you know, we're going to support you financially to do that. No, it's a game. It's a game of divide and conquer. Because if you can divide and conquer, that's how you win. You know, again, let's not make the perfect the enemy of the good. If you can get good, then let's fight for perfect.
Right.
But let's not say, oh, well, because it ain't perfect, we're not going to take the good and we're going to stick with evil. What? That makes no sense.
Right.
Here's what, and I hate to throw this stereotype out here, but I'm gonna do it anyway. When I think about people like Ice Cube, I think about the biggest black stereotype. You know what it is? Late. We always late. You know, he's coming with
Late.
this
Come on
crap
now.
late. He's real late. You know, what was his agenda when we had 50 people running? What was this agenda? You for black. You know,
What about the
and
4
it's
years of Trump?
right, the 4 years of Trump. And we're talking
Really?
about these rappers. Don't get me started about these black rappers because they have been key in destroying blacks and especially black women and getting paid for white people to do it for a very long time. They have destroyed more black women than Biden or any other Democratic candidate, heck, even Trump for that nature, could ever do just through their lyrics alone. So it kills me that every time we get to this finish line, here's somebody trying to push this agenda and trying to figure out where was all this stuff. Where was your meetings when you knew Biden was going to be the candidate? Where was your
Hello.
meetings with anybody else talking about this? And I agree with you, David. People don't understand how this thing works, man. These people pay hundreds and millions of dollars to get what they need to get done. And they will use anybody to make it happen. And we have been guilty of selling out our own community. We see it on a local level all the time. I know even going to Broward County, there are people in Broward County saying the same thing about some of our people in Broward County. They're getting paid to split. They're getting paid to sell out the community. And we keep going for it every time. And they keep using people. They look at your Twitter followers and they figure out this is the person we could target because they got 8 million people that's gonna follow them, and that's what we're falling for. It's really sickening to me, and I want to kind of call it out, but I just try to hold my tongue.
Which is why I'm so upset.
Right,
I like
right.
IQ. I feel like out of a lot of the rappers, he's the one that thinks more. He's always been the more cerebral of a lot of them. In terms of having a.
David, these people ain't making no money right now. These people not making money right now. A lot of these artists, their brands, they're not making money. So you see them on social media doing all kind of crazy stuff, right about now. So they're doing certain things to say, how can I make some money? How can I get some money? How can I continue with my lifestyle? So that there didn't. Of course, I figured, okay, you must be getting paid or something because right now, right before the RNC, you got something negative to say. Now you want to tell people we're not going to vote until see to these agendas are met. Like I say, everybody got an agenda. We can all say that right now that we have an agenda. You know what I'm saying? But the smart thing would have done, like what Bernie have done, what whoever else may have done. I'm quite sure other people have already gone to Biden camp and say, hey, this is what I would like. This is even old stupid Trump did that when he ran. He had all the pastors, all of whoever come in and give them, what they thought. They gave them, what they think that should happen when it comes to black community. That's what you did. I'm Nathan. It's too late. I wish I had a gavel. You're late. Don't start no confusion. And what really got me is I see for people who I'm like, really? Like I even see Dr. Boyce, if that's his name, the financial guy. Like, I come on, man, you're too intelligent for that to be jumping on his bandwagon about agenda right now.
And it's fine. It's fine.
Hold that thought. That's what I'm saying to him.
What's on it is fine. It's just the fact that again it's late. Trump's definitely not going to do it, and again.
Biden is open to doing it.
Right. But somebody's open to do it. We know Trump not going to do it. And let's be honest, Dave, you said it. Who benefits more from an economical standpoint when you're a rich person? Who benefits more for being in office? Biden? Or I think it was Bloomberg. Bloomberg said at the DNC, listen, if I was looking at it from a businessman, Trump would be my man. He said it at the DNC. Trump will be my man because from a financial standpoint, I'm going to get more. I'm going to have more money with Trump in office. But I got to understand it's not about money. Basically, I can stand to lose a few $millions. It's about my decency at this point. And whether he meant it or not, or he just hates Trump that much, that remains to be seen. But it's true.
It's true. It's true. The problem is,
and I said that about Ice Cube.
Same thing happened. With Hillary, whole bunch of people had all these negative things to say about Hillary, this, that, and now we ended up with this.
Right.
That when Black lives get killed, we got a president that don't even care.
It's
When
not,
people
it's not
get
gonna come
shot,
up. What happened this week is not gonna be mentioned this week. I promise
he
you
don't
that.
care. When people get killed, he's more. Matter of fact, when people are protesting against Black lives for Black rights, he got military folks, okay, hitting them. I mean, some of those rubber bullets I heard crack skulls.
Right.
Okay, he had people shooting at us. So we have a choice. We have a choice. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to pretend that the reason why I'm against Trump is all because of Black matters. Because through Senator Tim Scott, he did get some things. He got some check marks.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? He passed the opportunity zone. He passed criminal justice reform. Yeah, he deserves credit for that. However, he don't care about Black folks. Number one. Number two, I believe he's a danger to our democracy. I just believe that if he gets elected, mark my words, we will not have a country like we have. It will
It's
be.
not about a party. This is about a person.
Changed. He's already changed our country. I'm telling you, another 4 years, and if one of us have this show and we say something bad about Trump, we better have security.
Well, they already do it. Facebook already does it. They put you in. Right. Y'all remember I was off Facebook for a while. I guess I was talking too much. They just knocked me off for a little bit, and almost close to a month. And they do a lot of other people. They put them in jail. All that stuff there. If we're talking, all of a sudden you'll see the thing rolling because they censor. They have certain words or keywords that they censor that they don't want you to talk about in the same sentence. When it comes to that. Yeah, him and Zuckerberg, whatever, they good. They cool friends. It's all about money. People with money. It's how much more money can I make? How much more money can I make? How many lives can be miserable? Right now, we have more people that applied for unemployment. We have more people, if people don't know, who are now in search of food drives. At first, it was like, okay, people was the first food drive because of COVID. No, right now, the number is increasing, for those who are in need of food in the lines or those who are in need of jobs, it's getting crazy, and I'm thinking like, in our economic, in the next couple of months, I mean, we definitely don't want this food, but in the next couple of months, how would it be? I'm trying not to imagine the worst of things,
People
guys.
are dying.
And people are dying. Even I don't know if she was a member of your church, Pastor A, but my sister's best friend Ashley, her mother passed away in Pompano on 15th, I think, and it was because of COVID. I don't know if that was the same person. Okay, well, this person passed away. COVID. They still dying. It's they still dying, and it's like in certain areas, no one's talking about it. And Pastor A, I don't know if y'all or whoever, but no one's really saying nothing. It's like, oh, okay. But the numbers, we have to try to be statistic about the numbers of where it's happening the most. We knew it was a 33311, and we knew it was Pompano. But that's our people. You understand what I'm saying?
COVID has, and I'm seeing it. I've had members of my church, some died from COVID, some have not. But people don't really understand the effect of COVID-19. And people who have, I want to go as far as say died, not from COVID-19, but because of COVID-19. I tell you why. There are people that have been in the hospital that have died from loneliness and depression because of COVID-19, because they had no help and no hope. As a man of God, you understand, David, the power of hope, the power of inspiration. And because of COVID-19, there are people that have been in the hospital that could have survived. But guess what? When you land in the hospital, nobody can see you. Nobody can come and visit you. You are suffering, man. And COVID-19 has taken an effect on the economy, psychologically. This thing is doing more damage than the actual disease itself. And
people playing games.
And yeah,
they're playing games.
It is crazy, man. It's
He can't get
crazy.
elected again.
Right. It's crazy. The censorship is crazy. I've seen it. I thought I was crazy. I've been seeing the censorship within my own page and in my own church, went from thousands of views to just a couple of hundred. And I'm trying to figure out what the heck is going on. And it dawned on me that they are censoring out the middle and the little men. They can't censor out. And this is why it's important, going back to the Ice Cube real quick, that the people that have the major platforms can't sell out because they can't censor them. They can't censor the TD Jakes or the Ice Cubes, those that have millions of followers, but they can censor us.
Mm-hmm.
They can censor us. And that's why it is so important that the people with the platform speak out, because they have the
Right.
platform. They have the platform. Because if you think that Zuckerberg and all of these social media platforms are not listening in like we were terrorists, you are being fooled. They are listening, and they're trying to get this type of talk off of the airways because it's doing damage to what they're trying to do.
Divide and conquer.
Right.
We could never work together. And I'm sorry to say, but it's a shame. We got Biden. He selected Kamala Harris, and she's not only an AKA, but she went to HBCU. She's fought for some things. And one thing that she said that always realize you got to fight from the inside. If you're not on the inside, you don't got no power. You just talking.
Right.
You protesting. You got to get on the inside to affect change. And if Biden and Kamala don't get elected, I'm afraid for what's going to happen. I remember my father, my late father, and I'll shut up after this. My late father used to teach about a lot of the end times, and when we used to look at a lot of some of these biblical prophecies, I used to be like, but we have democracy, Dad. Like, some of this stuff ain't gonna be able to happen in America. And I know I'm getting into biblical typology in terms of the way the beast happened and the persecution of the church and the early reign church. And I thought, man, but this can't happen in the United States. And now I'm looking at the safeguards, of the American institution that I thought would prevent a dictator, that would prevent someone from being persecuted for religious belief. Now, if we have someone like a dictator that's a king, he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah. And what about his girl, Kelly Conway? She resigned. You say she resigned for her kids, which I understand because she has teenage kids. But I think more people are pulling back, because even the one who was, saying that she was had the recording, more people are pulling back because they don't want to be attached. Because just like you said, it's the inside. They know the inside of what he's thinking and how he thinks and how his dictatorship is with us, with people he don't care, with other countries. That's the fear. Like, you're gonna pop off, to these people. They equal now, like a China. You know what I'm saying? It's absolutely crazy. So she said, I'm resigning. I want to go ahead and focus on my family. I'm resigning. Yeah, and her husband, him as well. He said he'll still be a part of the project that they're working on, the Lincoln Project. But he said that they're both resigning.
Well, the daughter,
I can imagine they exhausted and had enough.
The daughter recently demanded to be emancipated from her parents.
Right.
She said that,
and she still says she want to be emancipated.
But, the thing is that the dad never supported Trump. He's one of those Republicans like I am, who the Lincoln Project is a project against Trump. And there's a lot of conservatives that's with it, but there's a small minority, unfortunately. And the wife was for it because she was working there. I think them both resigning they probably got a crisis at home. With the daughter saying she wants to be emancipated, et cetera, and they both decided to be home to take care of family.
Just like you guys said, imagine kids being home alone. You know what I'm saying? They may have someone, maybe a nanny or a sitter or something like that, or they feel like they're old enough to be there. But that's a big thing. Even I, as a parent, I said, okay, I have to make a schedule. So on this day we're gonna go out, or this day we got to do something, because you have to break that silence. Of them being there virtual, doing what they do, but they need to be out. You know what I'm saying? They really need to be out. So what's going on now is Governor Ron DeSantis here in Florida, and the Miami-Dade Mayor Carlos Jimenez said that they want to make a decision to allow the fans in 2020 at the Dolphins home game opener. So, which is not that far away. So for the Dolphin home game opener, they want to allow people to come to the game. I mean, if you do it for the home opener, you might as well do it for the rest of the games too. Soon, that would make no sense. But basically, saying let us go watch the game now at the Hard Rock Stadium, where you drink liquor, after you drink liquor, you having a good time. You done took your mask off by now. You high fiving, you spitting everywhere. You doing all this stuff here. You bumping into each other. Your energy, so you're not thinking. That's why they say no liquor. So and nobody's not gonna go to the game without no liquor. So that well, I shouldn't say that, but 75%.
All right, I'll make 2 points. First, I wouldn't be going to no game for sure. I treat this COVID thing serious. Like, I ain't playing no games. But I do believe that our governor has really been bullied by the media, and that's not me just taking for Republican because I'm Republican, but state of Florida is way bigger than the state of New York. I mean, in terms of size, in terms of number of people, we're significantly bigger. And the media has been saying that Governor Cuomo is a success of how you should do things. And our governor is horrible. But yet our state is bigger, and New York had significantly more dead people than we do. And it's not like by accident. They've made specific decisions that caused that there, and they never held them accountable. DeSantis, although he's a Trump guy, he's a lot smarter than Trump. He ain't no Trump. This guy is an Ivy League educated man. He does make data-driven decisions, and I think that the media has really been biased in terms of their portrayal of him. Because of the fact that, look at the numbers. The numbers don't lie. New York has significantly more dead people than Florida, and yet they're saying that the New York governor is great and the Florida governor is horrible. It just doesn't add up when you look at just the facts. Now, I won't be at no football game next to anyone, but if it's an open air, which I haven't been in Dolphin Stadium in a long time, it's different from being in an insulated room where the AC is pulling and passing that information out. Being out in the open is a lot different.
Okay, so let me jump on something right quick. DeSantis is a horrible governor. Horrible. And another horrible governor. And the reason why Governor Cuomo is better because he had a plan. That's all it was, a plan. When he got on TV or whatever, there's a plan. There was even PowerPoint. He's a PowerPoint man.
A plan that made a lot more people die. A plan that got
that was a plan, because just like you said, even New York, we know New York is clustered. That's like a New Jersey.
It's still clustered,
it's just
but the numbers are better now.
However, our places are a little bit different. Only in some of the Black communities, where most of their apartments are clustered. Everybody's in the hallway, everybody's moving, everybody's elevator. Those are the type of conditions that some of those who had the most of COVID live, just like we would say for the 311 and Pompano and different other places, or even those type of places where there's more cluster. He had a
Okay,
plan.
if it was just a
Our
cluster,
people didn't have
then
a plan.
why
His
is the
plan was
numbers
just for a
down?
little while. Maybe the people need to make some. His plan was always had to deal with money. Let me let these people make this money. Let me let the Dolphins people make this money. Let me let Disney World make this money. Open these schools up. Let them make some money. You know, for the private schools and the charter schools. Let them make some money. Let has everything that he does has an attachment that like he owes these people. I don't know if he owed them favors like Trump do, but he owes them something when it
Hear,
comes
hear,
to
hear
favor.
me out, Tanisha. You can hate him as a governor. You
No,
can say
hate him.
that. Listen, no. I mean, you can say I don't like him. I won't vote for him. You know, he's too conservative. I'm more liberal. That's cool, but the facts don't lie. Okay, and the fact is, whenever the media says, "Oh well," because New York was clustered, well, it's still clustered, but the numbers are down right now. It ain't like the density changed. It was bad decisions. And the bad decision that they made was they were releasing people that were COVID positive from the hospital to the nursing homes while they were still positive. And that was bad decisions that caused New
Well,
York to
that's because
spike.
there were a lot of these people because they do it now. If you go there positive, they're gonna release you home unless you have some type of
Not to
congestive
the
or something
nursing
like that.
homes. We never did that in Florida.
There are no there are no places. There are no availability for housing. I would say there aren't any. Even here they was making preparations because they learned from them. If this was to happen, we're gonna use this, or we're gonna use this building, or we're gonna use,
He
we're
drunk
gonna
that
use the
Kool-Aid
prison system. We're
immediately,
gonna let all the people out
man.
of prison. We're gonna use that.
Let
Say
me
what?
say, let me
Go
say
ahead.
because I was when it first started, I remember commending DeSantis a lot. When this first happened, I think where the governor went wrong is probably around May. He either got fatigued or he got some major pushback, and he did not stick to his guns of the mandates. I think that's what DeSantis went wrong. When March and April came out and they had the mandates, Florida was well. Around May, when he loosened the mandates and he allowed the individual counties basically kind of make their own decisions, I think that's where he dropped the ball.
I mean,
Also,
that's legitimate
I think he
argument.
dropped the ball in some areas where he was offered some things. This is around the time where Trump needed some things to change so he can get this convention down here. I think
That's right.
honestly, him trying to kiss Trump's butt
Please.
caused him to get criticized. Because really, I'm telling you, man, if you remember, David, the first couple of months, DeSantis wasn't getting
That's
slack.
true.
He wasn't getting any
Yeah,
slack.
that's true.
Oh, he was. I watch MSNBC a lot. He
Well, I
was
can't
getting it.
now nationally.
Yeah, I'm not talking
Nationally,
about locally. I'm talking about nationally.
right.
They were bashing him from the very beginning, and
Well, we
when
know
I
the national media, of course. We know they have agendas. We know they target. We know that
Florida.
that had.
What is Florida going to do? Yeah.
I'm with you. That has nothing to do with DeSantis being DeSantis. That just has something to do with DeSantis being Republican. We got
exactly,
we got
and if
sense
you
enough to
look,
know that.
Pastor, if you look at the convention thing, everything you said, I actually agree with. Not, I mean, I'm not going to co-sign it, but I could understand it. I could no, I could
Right.
understand it. I could see, that's a legitimate argument. I may not co-sign it, but I could understand where you're coming from. But they didn't do the convention here, so that's not thing. They didn't do it. They spoke about it. They didn't do it. I think he's smart enough. He's a smart politician. He's smart enough that if he told Trump no, he ain't going to say it publicly. To me, that's just smart, because if you cross Trump in the Republican Party, that's
Well,
it.
I don't think no. I'm not gonna put the convention not being on DeSantis. No. That was Jacksonville's doing. No. Them brothers in
Jacksonville
Jacksonville.
Republican too.
Yeah, but they caught the heat. Jacksonville did not want that convention there. They didn't.
Right.
But
They didn't want it there.
he always said it was up to the local people. He never
Right.
he's never like this. The criticism that a lot of the legitimate criticism. So I believe there's some legitimate criticism, even though I won't co-sign it. I think it's legitimate when people say, "Listen, he should have did a statewide thing versus let the local leaders make decisions." Why? Because the virus doesn't know counties. The virus is not going to say, "Hey, I'm in Dade, I'm gonna act different." No,
Right.
the virus is going to go. So he should have made it statewide, and that's basically what you're saying. He shouldn't have allowed the local leaders to make decisions. But a big part of conservatives is to allow the people that are closest to the people, that are more accountable to the people, to make decisions. It's the which is why I believe the people that are supporting Trump is bad, because he doesn't stand for small government. He doesn't stand for letting the government be responsive to the people. And what DeSantis did is say, listen, I'm gonna let your local leaders who are closer to the people, who you can call up, who can listen to you, I'm gonna make my scientists available for them, so they'll have the information, but it'll be a supportive role for them to make this. But that criticism is fair if you disagree with it. I don't think it's so much bad, because I'm a libertarian type of, I like to have local government be more responsive to my voice and to local. So I don't really disagree with it, but I respect the criticism. The criticism that I don't respect is when they said Cuomo is amazing and he has like thousands and thousands and thousands of people dead. I mean, I saw like pictures of, they were putting dead bodies in trucks in New York. They couldn't even bury them. They were putting them in trucks. That's because
it wasn't the fact that it wasn't that he made them die, or it was because of him they died.
No.
I can't put that on him.
That's not what I'm saying. Hear me out. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, I'm not saying Cuomo's, actually, I don't dislike Cuomo. He's the type of Democrat that I would support. But what I'm saying is the media was biased because he made bad decisions. The decision to release someone that we never did, that was positive, COVID positive, into a nursing home it helped propel COVID-19 in New York, and he learned from that mistake. But the media never held them accountable for it.
That's the part I was about to say.
And what I'm trying to say is they're holding even in our worst days, and we're bigger than New York. We still never have numbers that match. We still don't have the number of deaths that New York have. And then when people try to say, well, it's because of the density, they don't have deaths now. The numbers are really low now. They still have the same density. It's because of the policy decisions that he's made that are better. He's learned from his mistakes. That's
what I'm thinking he's getting credit for. And it took a while for, again, going back to my statement.
They always give him credit. They never give him any criticism. If you watch the Cuomo brothers on CNN, they've been saying he's been doing great from the very beginning. So what I'm just saying is, again, I don't dislike.
So why DeSantis can't learn then? Why we keep doing this same?
Well, he's learning now. The numbers are going. That's the part about
the numbers
are
going down. If you look, he gets no credit when the numbers are down, and when the numbers were bad, they still wasn't anywhere close to New York when they were still giving.
Of course not. We don't have the same amount of people. New York ain't nothing but Miami-Dade.
We got more people than New York.
The thing about New York and Florida, I mean, while we have more people, it's a lot bigger state, so they're spread it out. So that's the part. That's where you're not necessarily comparing apples to apples, because if you got 1 million people spread it out versus 1 million people in one room.
And remember when this happened,
why is the numbers down now? If it was just about density and nothing about bad decisions, why is the numbers down? Did the density change?
Remember, I said I agree with you. I agree with you that Cuomo started off bad, but I think what I'm talking about from me. I can't speak for I don't expect his brother on CNN to bash him. But what I'm saying is, I'm thinking he's getting credit for sticking his foot in the sand and making a permanent decision on getting this thing right, learning from those mistakes.
Oh yeah, he deserves the credit for that. I'm just saying that the media has not been balanced, is all I'm saying. I actually like Cuomo.
What I'm saying, for what I've seen, DeSantis didn't start getting killed to me until he started loosening. When he started to try again, he played politics. See, that's why now when you
He
say
played
DeSantis is
politics.
smart,
Thank you with
he's
help.
smart. He plays
Yeah.
politics with this thing. He didn't forcibly tell Trump yes or no. He tried
He
to
said
make
it's up
it
to the local
easy.
leader.
He
He said it's
relaxed
up
the
to the local leader.
restrictions to let Trump feel comfortable with allowing it to be here. Because as soon
No,
as
he said it's
Trump,
up to the local leader. That's why what's her name? The one that Joe Biden was considering, Demings. Val Demings. Her
right,
husband is a mayor. Trump was considering Orlando. He said, "You're not coming down here."
right.
He always made it up to the local leaders.
But what I'm saying is, DeSantis knew what he was doing. He loosened the restrictions to make Trump feel comfortable. Remember, the reason why they wasn't coming to Charlotte was the fact that the governor said you're not gonna have this convention, and we in the middle of a shutdown. So what
Right.
They having it there
DeSantis?
now, and they got people there now. He just said that you have to follow the what you call it laws.
No, look
And
at
Trump
I mean,
didn't
look
want to
at
do
the
that,
time
which I
CDC.
agree.
though. The time
Right.
length is a different time now.
But
You
what
know?
I'm saying is
But guys,
DeSantis.
so
Oh, go ahead.
just
But
to
I
a little
agree with you,
drama.
David.
Drama. I agree, partial. You know, just partial. Just a little drama here. So I don't even know if people really even know him. Jaheim, the singer Jaheim. Anybody know? Y'all
No.
looking like who? Well, it was all over that they probably paid him too, because my mom was like, "Don't nobody know him." Who's that? That he's a Trump supporter. So he put out today that he is a Trump supporter. Other drama. Anybody watch the series Sweetie Pies that came on TV with Miss Sweetie Pie? That was from I want to say Maryland, Baltimore,
I
or
thought it was in Atlanta.
St. Louis.
No, it is St. Louis.
St. Louis. She was from St. Louis. She was a dancer for I forgot. But anyway, her son had put a hit on his nephew. All right, that's drama. The other drama, John Gray. Anybody know John Gray?
Yeah.
Well, he's in the limelight again as having another affair. He did good with cleaning up the first one. You know, bought a car and did all that, and gave her a whole new look, and all of that, and gave her a nickname Avenger. All of that. PR was good for that. I ain't gonna lie. But he got caught again. That's when we follow these. I'm so progressive, but I want to live, and I'm put on the. Ain't nothing wrong with wearing tennis shoes up. There ain't nothing wrong with that, but when you just like in a $5,000 look standing up on stage, it's just too much for me. I can't do it.
Let me speak on that for a second, for 30 seconds.
Go ahead.
I'm always leery of people who become famous on someone else's platform. And that's what we're seeing in John Gray's case. John Gray was on Joel Osteen's platform. He was not able to handle the light, as you said earlier, David, the lights. He can't handle the heat. When you look at John Gray, he's not gonna get this attention just walking down the street in the local Macy's.
Not at
Some
all.
people can't handle. He couldn't handle being John Gray.
All right. Let me give my 2 cents. I actually think he left Joel Osteen well, because Pastor A, you've seen a lot of pastors that when they leave, they don't honor their spiritual father, and they leave in a bad way. I like the way that he left Joel Osteen, giving honor to him.
And he left.
That's not what I meant by that
No,
statement.
no. I know that's not what you meant. I'm just saying I like because some people may have a calling, and I don't feel there's anything wrong with that. Here's what my opinion. I just want to pray for him. I just want to give him the grace that I feel. I know that, I feel that when people make it to the top, everybody wants to throw rocks, and they don't know how hard they work. Me and you, Pastor, and you, Tanisha, we know how hard it takes to get somewhere. but people don't remember the building stages. They just see the highlights. And these are real people. They got flesh and blood, and they got weaknesses, and they got their own challenges. And I just want to pray that God restores them, and that God, bless their marriage. I want to pray that they don't end up splitting up. I pray that God restore them. I know that it's a mistake that anybody can make.
When you hand somebody
thing
something,
about right.
when
My
you hand
thing is
somebody
this:
something, it's danger. I think it's Joe Gregory wrote a book entitled "The Great Temptation," when he was handed the church in Dallas, Texas, First Baptist Church, one of the biggest churches in America at that time, and he wrote a book about it, "The Great Temptation." He was handed. He got off of Joel Osteen's platform and was handed the keys to the kingdom.
Yeah.
And didn't have to work for it. And this is coming, $1 million budgets. You got
But he made a lot of his money on reality TV, not on the church. Matter of fact, the church.
No, I'm not talking about money wise. I'm just saying what he was handed.
You don't make no money off reality.
He was handed a mega church. He was handed a mega church. Just here, take this mega church. Yeah. He wasn't there. It would have been easier for him if he got.
You saw the lawsuit?
Huh?
He paid that. That pastor was retiring, and that pastor said, "If you pay
me," he moved.
He was moving. He moved to California.
I know, but that pastor was retiring from the church and was paid 7 figures to give John Gray that church. So it wasn't.
This is my thing.
It wasn't like you or me, Pastor. Where like we get ahead. No. John Gray, almost like when I was teaching, Tanisha was with me about buying a business. He brought a ministry.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. He got this. It wasn't his. He never did it before. It would have been easier for him if he inherited Joel Osteen's spot. It would have been more of a natural thing. But here he is, and he's hit this spotlight now. He's on this. He bought it. You're right. He's on this platform that he's never had to be the man, and I think he just let it get to. He's let it get to him.
I think of the scripture that says,
just like a lot of NBA, NFL players, that happens to them all the time.
It can happen to anybody. We could do
a whole show about his transition and that transaction. That was some mafia type of transaction, man. I saw that. I was like, man, this is like a drug deal going bad.
That's just like now, just like we was talking about on Saturday, we was doing a business expo. People buy things. Somebody called me up, Tanisha, I got this account. If your client needs it, the Instagram account, it's already got this amount of people. They do that. They sell it. That's what they, in the business of doing, of selling. So I got this church. I got all these people who are already here. So they're going to continue to come. You're buying a brand. It's an investment. So that's what you're doing. My thing about it is this. Be honest about it. If you have a problem and deal with it. Don't put out all these stupid lies and people got receipts and proofs and women and all this stuff here. Do yourself a disservice and either you step down, get yourself some help, go into the rehab like the other people. Do something. Do something and don't come out like then here you are. You're not paying the bills, but you buying I don't even know what kind of car, Maserati, Lamborghini, whatever, or you wearing red bottom tennis shoes, different ones. But you're not, me as a person, I'm gonna sue you with my money. Give me all my money back. Give me all my 10%, 15, 30, whatever I put into this. Give it back to me.
I'm gonna say this. I'm not liking this business stuff that's going on in the kingdom right now. Maybe I'm old school, old fashioned. Maybe that's why I don't have 1 million members. But I'm not liking this. Some of these guys, I don't know if they're ministers or models. I'm trying to figure out. Is it a fashion show? What is it? Is big business over here? We trading. I'm calling you. We're trading cars. We giving Lamborghinis as presents. I don't know, man. This thing is just getting out of hand to me, and I'm trying to figure out will he survive this. I'm not sure because he was talking about starting a church in Atlanta. I don't know, man.
I just feel like we need to give him some grace.
And
pray
I'm not
for
just
him.
talking about him. I'm just saying
Yeah,
we see
You
I
this
mean
know,
that's
in
the
the
because
truth.
kingdom.
I feel like a
We
lot
give
of people
everybody
that's
grace
on top of
because
the mountain
grace and mercy
are
follow us,
pe-
but
people
he
people
still have to
people
be held
people
accountable,
give
David.
like if it's like a regular pastor that's not as popular or that doesn't have that happens all the time. But nobody ain't gonna say nothing. You know what I'm saying? But
Yes, we
if
do.
it's like a mega pastor and the fact that he has so much success, people just there's a lot of people that want him to fail and they just looking, and just it's like Charles Barkley said, whenever you get successful, there's a lot of people that just their life don't look good and they just hate you because of they look at your life and they look at theirs and
Yeah.
they hate you, and I just want to just say, like, yes,
But
he
I think
messed
I'm not
up.
gonna hate you because of your wrongdoing. You the one that did wrong. So I'm not
Right.
gonna
See this.
say, oh, they hate you because of that. It's your
No, I'm just
actions
saying there's a
is
lot of
what
people that
we
want him
do,
to
and
fail.
we
That's
have
all
to
I'm
be
saying.
accountable.
Well, he doing
There's
a
a lot
good
of people that
job
want him
in
to
Well,
doing
fail.
it by
everybody want
himself.
all us to feel on here.
But in his case, I agree with you, David. But in his case, he's not being open to receiving grace. He don't think he's done
That's
anything
true.
wrong. That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean by these guys get on these platforms and he's done a whole series about how he got haters and this. No, man, this is your time to be humble. This is your time to take a sabbatical. This is your time to
Right.
chill. This is your time to put on a suit and a tie and preach on grace. Don't preach on haters. Preach on grace. Preach on mercy. That's what I'm saying. These
I,
guys
I'm
want
not
all this stuff
disagreeing
and
with
then they
what you
want to
guys are
play like they
saying.
haven't done anything.
No, I'm not. I think, okay, so here's what I'm trying to say, because I'm not saying that I disagree with what you're saying. What I'm saying is that whenever you get in spotlight, that your weaknesses are like, I have doctrinal differences between him, but I don't feel this is the time when he's fallen to convey my doctrinal differences, because it's like Galatians 6. It says, if a brother falls, you with the spirit of meekness restore such a one, considering thyself, and with the spirit of Christ restore him. So what I'm just saying is there's a lot of people.
Also the Bible say repent too.
Yeah, but not to repent to you. We got to repent to Christ. You don't know if he
I ain't
repented to
saying
Christ or not.
it.
Well,
He in
I'm gonna
Christ.
Act
question
like you
his
don't repent or
repentance.
something.
I'm gonna question his repentance because his rebuttals are
Act
his
like
rebuttals.
right.
But that's just him trying not to lose. You know what I'm saying? That's just him trying to.
That's when it becomes business.
And what I'm saying, David, this is not about me and you. This is about his membership. We're pastors.
Right.
We
That's what we're
understand it.
talking about.
But your
Yeah.
memberships, when
Yeah.
you come at your memberships, not with a spirit of meekness or humility, you come to them like y'all. Y'all. And again, I
Y'all know
I
they
don't
hate
want to use
on
this
me.
word, but I'm going to use it. Manipulation. I hate when guys
Mm.
use their platforms and their members for manipulation. Man, be real with these people. Let them know that you've fallen. Be like David, for I've sinned and come short. But these guys don't, and I could go names. I mean, I go back to the Eddie Loans. I got 5 slingshots. I ain't thrown one yet. The next thing you know, you selling out of court for $50 million. Like, don't do that to people. Don't play those
Right.
games. These guys get on this level and they just feel like they cannot. They become Teflon Don. They feel like nothing can get to them, and we see the downfall. And that's what I believe will happen to Pastor Gray if he doesn't change and become humble. He don't owe it to me. He don't owe it to me. He owe it to God, and he owe it to the
That's right.
people that he pastored. And now he has to pastor these people. He hasn't been their pastor. He's been a celebrity. That's what he's
But
been. Let's
these
be
people are
real.
all right with that. Look, a lot of church, smaller. There's a lot of. I was talking to a friend of mine, and I'm not gonna say no names. He was complaining about his church, and he's not in Florida. He goes in another state, and he goes to a mega church, and he was complaining. And he's like, man, they're too business-like. they this that. I said, but listen, that's the church you went to. You can choose to go to another smaller
Yeah, you
congregation.
keep going. Yeah.
That's not like that. But you chose. You got in your car. That's the church you tied to. You tied to the big one with all the fancy stuff. So they know what bait they use to get you. So they're going to keep that bait, which keep it about money, keep it about business, because that's what you like. That's what you rewarded by your attendance. So I feel like people want it both ways. You can't get it both ways. You already knew what he was before he got there. He was already a celebrity. You know what I'm saying? So now we can't come and say nothing different. No, you chose to go there. You were okay with that celebrity thing. You were okay with the business-like fancy stuff. You find there's tons of smaller ministries, you know, with pastors that are not like that. No, you chose to go there because that's what you prefer. So don't come and complain about it now that that's what you got.
Well, I totally agree with you on that. I can high five you on that one because
There's a lot of smaller congregations that were pastors like yourself, pastors like that are more family oriented, that are close. They don't want to go there. They want to go to the fancy ones with the bells and whistles.
What's going on?
Until they come back to bite them. Until they get embarrassed by it. Until they get embarrassed by it.
They talk about money too much, or they talk about business too much. Well, that's what got you there. They got to keep it up. You wanted that, and I'm not saying it's wrong that you wanted that. Everybody has their choice. Okay, I'm not saying it's wrong, but since that's your choice, you got to take the good with the bad. That's all I'm saying.
It's been coming back to bite, and that's why I think this whole COVID-19 has changed the structure of just how we look at church. And a lot of I'm like, brother, you're supposed to be in quarantine, man. How you got time? But never mind. All right, let's go.
Yeah.
What city that church is in again?
Yeah.
It's Greenville, South Carolina.
I guess they ain't quarantining over
there.
They ain't quarantined over there.
God help them out.
Well, guys, this has been really good. So listen, before we go, just a little small cap. The other day, was it yesterday, 2 days ago, a young man was killed by the police. I can only from the video, I don't know, something about somebody was breaking up a fight with two women.
Not killed though. He's not dead.
He was actually
not killed.
No, yeah, I'm sorry. You're right. I apologize. He's still in the hospital, critical condition. He was walking to his car. I can't hear what they were saying to him, but I'm just asking him to stop because they had their guns drawn. So people are having these mixed feelings or mixed thoughts, as to what happened. I wasn't there. I can't say what happened. So they asked him to, I guess, maybe stop or whatever. But he went into the car and subsequently he bent down. And when he bent down,
I don't think he bent down until he got shot.
Right, I don't think he bent down.
He didn't bend down until he got shot.
He didn't bend down. I gotta watch it again.
He just got in the truck. That's all he did.
Yeah, and look, I feel like there's so much bigger. They trying their best to if a guy could walk in a church and shoot 9 people with a gun, and you know how to arrest an armed white dude, you can arrest an unarmed black man. And if he flees, okay, then you can catch him and do what you got to do. But you are not in fear of your life. Now, on that being said, I do advise people, if you want to be alive, just listen to it. I mean, listen to what they tell you to do. Do what you got to do, and you can fight the charge tomorrow. But if they kill you, then they get to say both sides of the story. So I always tell people to listen, obey what the officer says. But that does not nullify the fact that the officer was not in fear for his life to use lethal force. He shot the guy in the back
7 times.
7.
1,
2, 3, 4. I mean, all the way to 7 in his back. I understand if the guy turned around. He didn't. You were not in fear for your life to use lethal force.
I would love to see the body cam footage to see what he saw.
They don't have body cam in that city.
Of course not.
They do not have. They plan on getting it in 2022 is what they said, but it's in the budget for 2022, but they didn't have it yet.
And the thing about this situation is, for African Americans, what we begin to see, and people want to figure out why we get upset, because only for Black Americans, disobedience is a capital crime. It's a death sentence.
Come on.
Disobedience.
Yeah.
Disobedience is
Put
a
that on
death
Facebook.
sentence. I have seen footage,
Yeah.
and again, I'm pro law enforcement. Anybody knows me, I know that, knows that about me. I'm pro law enforcement. However, I've seen footage from all over the country where people have chased police officers with machetes.
Come
They
on,
have
white
lunged
folks.
at police officers. They have done things. They've had
Wrestle
weapons,
them.
right? Weapons in their hand. I've seen a guy steal a police car and
Yeah.
nothing
Yeah. I
happened.
seen
Not
that.
one shot fired. But mere disobedience. You didn't get out the car fast enough. You didn't stop when I said stop. You went inside your car. Those are capital murders, and for a black community. And that is the problem that I'm having. That I begin to have
That's
when I
because,
see
and
things of
I'm
that
not
nature.
going any further. That's because certain people feel like, oh, you disrespected me,
Right.
and that's that mindset.
Because you a boy.
The
They don't
mindset.
see you as a man,
Right.
Yeah.
as a fellow human being.
Man.
Right.
Even though I tell
Absolutely.
people, the Bible says to listen to those that have authority. I believe that you should listen. You should listen to the officer, even if he's wrong, because of the simple fact that if he kills you, he gets to say both sides of the story. The
Right.
goal is to live
Right.
so you
To
can,
tell your
file a
side.
complaint, sue, file, say your side. But if you don't live, we don't get to hear your side. He gets to say both sides. So listen to what the cop says and do what he says. And if he arrests you, whatever, and then you can fight it. But you disobey, it shouldn't be a capital punishment. But it is.
We
when
don't
you're
have
black.
the right to get arrested anymore in this country, seem
Not
like,
if
for
you're
some
black.
people.
But a white man could go in a black church, kill 8 people, and they get him. Not only they arrest them, they could get him a burger on the way to the jail.
And you could shoot up
Right.
a
You
school.
hungry?
You could shoot
Yeah.
up a whole
Ooh, I was gonna
school
go there, but I want.
and not even get a trial. They haven't even started a trial for Nicholas Cruz. When the last time you heard that name
But
in
guess what?
South Florida?
He's alive.
He's alive
They
and
know
living
how
off
to
our
arrest.
tax
That's,
dollars.
that's the problem. That all these people that are looking. Oh, he has this. They're looking for all the bad things to say about the guy. But I'm saying, but y'all seem to know how to arrest white bad people.
But
So
here's the
why do we gotta
problem.
be a saint for you to learn how to arrest us and de-escalate?
But here's another thing as we close out. This is how screwed up this country is. You got a guy who's lost a child in Parkland. The murderer is still in jail, just sitting there. But you're so deep in the pocket of the NRA that you're gonna speak at the convention
Right.
for Trump.
Tonight. Yeah, he's speaking tonight. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
that's
speaking tonight.
how crooked, how demonic can you be? What can you say at the Trump convention?
Right.
My people perish because of lack of knowledge. There's some people that just they again, just like I feel that some Democrats will support any Democrat, there's some Republicans that will support they don't look at the person, they don't look at the content, they just look at the R. And
But what would
that's
you
it.
have to say on what can you? I can understand vote for him. You can vote in your booth, but you have the guts to get on the national stage. And what are you going? What
I'm
are you
sure
going to
they
say?
made it. I'm sure they're making it worth his while. Unfortunately.
They're
Unfortunately.
gonna
What
build
you going to
something.
advocate for more guns?
They're gonna
Well,
they're gonna put something in memory of or something like that. It's gonna be something
I'm
to
sure they're
that
gonna do
effect of
something.
remembering.
And I don't want to just say like again,
You
there's some good folks.
Because I know when I worked with at a company, and that company, 75% of them lived in Parkland, and 75% of them lived in Parkland were Republicans. Period. We would have a discussion in the office that we could not have because I was who I was with, and they was who they was with, and it was that was it, and that was their party, regardless. He can do. I love him. He does and say what he want to say, and he's right.
You think that's twisted? I'll say one last thing. I spoke to someone who I knew had cancer. A close family member had cancer. And I said, hey, what would you gonna do if John McCain didn't vote against the repeal that Trump was pushing the on Obamacare, you know that you could have lost your health care, and the insurance company could have returned back to denying health care service for pre-existing conditions. You know that, right? And they haven't even thought about it. They have not even thought. They still just, a lot of people, which is unfortunate. A lot of people just going on with their life. They just do what they usually do. If I've always supported Republicans, I've always gifted Republicans. They just doing it, and they're not thinking. And the same way I feel with the Democrats too. I feel that, I always make a joke. I say, if you call 100 Bernie supporters and he's been in office for 30 years and ask them what's one major legislation he's passed, they can't tell you one, but they think he's the greatest person ever. It happens on both sides. You know what I'm saying? So it's just.
That what they do on Facebook. They be telling me stuff. I said, "Well, tell me this," and they can't. They wait a whole 2 hours, I guess, after they done researched it or whatever. But
Yeah, it's.
enough
I
of
think the
that.
world would be a better place if we didn't have these initials in front of the names,
Come on now.
because it'll really show people's true colors. And that's why I can't be connected to the parties, because they're both flawed in major ways. I just
Yeah,
vote for whoever's the best guy, a woman. That's
I
just
do the
always
same
been
thing.
my thing.
I do the
Um,
same thing. The only thing is, the reason I joined the Republican Party, because I figured if I could change it from the inside, it'll be good to have. That was before Trump, though. To have two good,
I don't want to say I would love
two good parties. But man, it's I don't understand. Like I don't think Trump is not really a Republican. He's a Democrat. He's always been a Democrat,
he's always.
and
That's what I mean.
he's
That's
been
what
a
I've been
Democrat for
telling
longer than he's been
people.
I feel like if he lose this election, the true
He's gonna go back
Republicans
to
could
Democrat.
disown him and say that he was really a Democrat. Because he was. It's like I don't feel that he represents Republican ideas, which is
Never
why I'm
have.
so puzzled by the absolute.
He donated millions of dollars to Kamala Harris' campaign.
Yeah.
That's why he's mad at him. That's why he's mad at him for. That's what I'm
lady,
saying.
a man, woman, his rude self. But we can go on, and guys. And I thank you guys for being a part of the Table Talk Radio Show, guys who are listening out there, or if this is a replay. Make sure to check us out on Monday nights at 7 p.m. here on Facebook Live. Also, Facebook Live, Table Talk Media. Also, YouTube Live, Table Talk Media. You can go there. Make sure that you do subscribe. We'll have us back by that time next week. We'll talk about what happened at the RNC and who had to say and what they had to say. Also, the Hot Topic Speedway. So you guys make sure that you participate. And also, they may not be promoting, but I am. Make sure that you get involved with your community. I have, when it comes to the Biden and Harris campaign. Yes, I have gotten involved, as I have done with other campaigns, change color, and other ones. I am one of those people that will text you or call you. Yes, that is me sometimes.
Me
But
too.
make sure that you guys are
I'm calling.
involved with the campaign. Yeah, thank you, Kimberly. Absolutely, to help, because we need to get this person out of here. Now, once we get them out of here, we'll see what happened with those 4. That give us some adjustment time, some breathing time. I don't know what happened after the 4 years after that, or whoever it would be, but we need some
I could go
adjustment
back to being
time.
Republican after we get this guy out of office. Yeah, look. I'm calling for Biden right now. If you ever get a call, this is Dr. David from the Biden campaign. You know exactly what But soon as they win, I'm going right back to being Republican. Like
you going right back.
Like, all right, Biden, there you go.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. So thank you guys so much for being a part of the Table Talk Radio Show, and you guys have a great. Hold on, guys.